So, Metal, we have a special Gojira. We brought you last week a special about Gojira, and actually now we have a special with Gojira here in the fucking studio.
לתרגום למי שלא הבין, אנחנו עשינו ספיישל גוג'ירה לקראת ההופעה שלהם בעצם במועדון הרידינג 3, ופתאום הם באו אלינו ואמרו לנו, אתם יודעים, אנחנו רוצים להגיע לאולפן, ואמרנו להם, טוב, אם אתם רוצים, אז with us, Gojira members.
How are you doing? How's that?
Very good.
Very
doing good, man.
Great. So first of all, I had the privilege to be a little with you in Jerusalem and around. And how is Israel so far for you?
It's incredible for us to be here. After like 18 years being a band, we never thought one day we would come to Israel. It's a great moment of our career. You know, each time we go to a new country, anyway, it's special. So coming here to the Holy Land.
Yeah, it is.
It looks like Europe where we live, and everything is normal here and very cool. The temperature, the weather, the beach.
You like the beach?
That's good. Things, yeah.
So we're here with Joe Duplantier or something like that.
That's very good. Yeah,
I
like
try
the
my
accent.
best. I try my best. The lead vocalist Mario Duplantier, which is the same thing, right? Which is the drummer, and we have Christian Andrew.
Yeah, it's correct.
Guitarist, and Jean-Michel Labedi.
Yeah,
Labedi,
exactly.
yeah. Muy bien.
Perfect.
Just lying, I don't believe them, it's not perfect, no way.
So, yeah, well, first question about France, actually, about French. Why do you write letters and you don't pronounce them?
Yeah, it's true. Like
Peugeot.
no, it's true.
Yeah.
For example, bonne journée. You know, most people from around the world they will read bonne.
Yeah. I'm talking about like we have
it's
brands,
true.
we have like cars, Renault, Peugeot.
I don't know. It's typically French.
There?
It's if you see this rule, you will understand a lot about French culture. Mm-hmm. It's very complex and sophisticated. Since the Middle Age.
Then you do it the other way. But you also do it the other way. You take big words and you only pronounce some of it, like baguette. What about it is?
Paris, croissant. What's going on there? And also, it's like if I want to speak French, I'll just speak English and I'll make it like I don't know, like some word like specific would be spécifique. I don't know. Anyways, that's about French. Now, what we wanted to know about, Gojira, actually, is that we want to start a little bit from, like, early stages, embryonic stages, and the concept of Gojira as a band, it's a whole different thing for us, not only lyrically wise with all the global warming and all the things that there are, the environmental stuff, which is very different than other bands, but the sound of it is something that either we didn't encounter or we saw it in some other band. Was it your plan to make this kind of monster, or did it evolve?
We never had a plan, I remember exactly the feeling when we started. It was we just wanted to jam and play Metallica songs and Sepultura songs and enjoy ourselves, And one day we started to record demos, and we did 1 demo, 2, 3, 4. Nowadays, bands don't do that anymore. Right away they have, a Facebook page and a haircut.
Listen to you to iTunes.
And then they release an album. We're old school, So we come from a time where, it was like a dream to be famous, like beyond dream. Like we were not thinking about this. And it was never a motivation. We just wanted to play music, and then we started to play shows, and it worked with the people. We never had to fight to convince the people to like our band. It was there from the beginning. Even if it was like 5 people, they were going crazy. Yeah, you know what I mean? We felt that, and that helped us, to go on always. And we do this very naturally. So we never really, same thing for the sound, man. We never, it was never a plan to sound like this or like that. It just came naturally, organically.
But before you got the crowd responses, did you listen to what you were doing and you were like, this is gonna this is something that's gonna get big.
The most important things when you are a band is you have to love your music. So we were a big fan of our music, but we kept this secret, But between us, we told all the time we love our music, we love our composition. So we knew the music we did was good for us. So that's the point.
When people in Israel come out with new groups right now, they always look at the bands that succeeded from Israel. It's like, you can do it in Israel, okay? Did you had these bands in France that you felt maybe you can follow them?
Not really. Mm-hmm. No, not only there was no French band successful outside of France, but also we were not even part of a group of bands.
Yeah, because like there's all these scenes that emerge in places in the world, like Sweden and Norway.
And in France there were some places like Paris, of course, Lyon. There was a hardcore scene, and Marseille. There was, I don't know, punk. Mediterranean scene.
Some garbage, yes.
I don't know. I have no idea, because at the time, there was no internet, and so we would trade demos through mail with flyers, handmade flyers and stuff. And we were also communicating with bands from Turkey and from England, but just on the mail with the tape and a bunch of flyers. And but we were not part of the group. Means we were in the countryside with no one around.
That's what's really interests me, because like always when I look on like new waves of things, it always comes in groups. It's like the Bay Area thrash metal, the Norwegian black metal. It's always like a group of bands that are like doing this, and these guys like, hey, that's nice, I'm gonna do this, and then they're like, no, we're gonna be more heavy, and then they just form something together, and then some band come from France with this sound, which is like nothing else. And for me, I don't know, a lot of people when I say this thing is like, no, it's not related. For me, I find in the sound a lot of like meshuga, because it's like a machine. When I listen to Gojira, it's like, I know that you're playing it, and I saw you live, but it sounds like it's fucking machine, but in a good way. Like
that's great.
Like
that's what you imagine.
There is no human cannot make this thing. It's like very accurate, and I feel it also when I listen to Meshuggah. So for me, it's like that. But it's like you took some little things from other places, but to see a band that comes and does it by its own, it's very very special.
Well, I think the sound that we have that is so personal and maybe new, I don't know, it's probably because of that, because we were probably the only French metal band that had a ticket out of the country, and also we were like in the countryside, and on top of being on the countryside, we were also outside of the small town we were living in. Means we were living in a house in the middle of a forest, and didn't have so many interactions with local cultural things going on. Like people play rugby, and they hunt, and they do all these things. And I know that for Mario and me, at least, where we grew up, and it became our headquarter. So that's where our music was born, with Christian and Jean-Michel as well. We're together since the beginning, but it was something. The surroundings were very inspiring. We're in the forest, close to the ocean. Our mom is American. Our dad is a painter. So they were kind of different a little bit. So we were not mixed with the people in town, not because we didn't want to, but it just happened like that. So probably that helped for the sound that is very personal.
So what you are saying is, if I want my kid to be a professional artist, okay, I need to put him in a dungeon,
in the cellar,
in the middle of the forest. Disconnect him from the internet, of course, and from everything else, and just play all day long. You've been playing all day long, like practicing day and night? Like,
well, we were going to school, so it was, after school. But
what age
if you
did
do
you
that
start?
to your kid, he will turn into a freak, probably, like we did.
It's okay. I don't care.
There's no guarantee.
If he'll be in a big band, it's okay.
Okay, so we spoke a little bit about the Meshuggah connection, and also you've been touring with Devin Townsend, which I really like, and I actually started to like him when I saw your show, and he was opening up for you, and it was like so surreal. all the video image there, it's like crazy. You feel like you're on drugs, even if you're like totally not. It was crazy, and I really enjoyed it. And you actually collaborated with Devin Townsend and with Meshuggah as Frederick Tortendal on your song of Blood and Salt, and that was only in an EP. It wasn't released.
We did release a song. We talked about Sea Shepherd Conservation Society, who is a organization working to try to save the oceans because the oceans are dying. I think everybody knows that. And so many different species are disappearing. And there's a lot of international laws that are voted for years and years, but there's no enforcement for these laws. So people do whatever they want on the oceans. Basically, they take the whales and the sharks and they destroy the landscape underwater. And these guys decided that's enough, and they're going out on the sea and do some stuff. And we just, very simply, we just wanted to put the spotlight on them a little bit, as you're in a band or you're an artist and you start to be successful, at some point you feel like a responsibility to do something.
To give back or to
exactly, do, So we decided to make a song. At first it was just a song, and we did record actually 4 songs in the end, but just one was released so far. And it was released in a magazine in UK. There was no money involved, nothing, but we just wanted to talk about this. And we called Devin Townsend and Frederick of Meshuggah, and they said, yeah, we want to participate. The idea was to bring names, and we did this song together, and it went so well that we became good friends. So that was cool to be in touch with Meshuggah and Devin, and so we stayed friends. And then we toured with Devin. We would love to tour with Meshuggah as soon as possible. And
also Randy Bleeth was in there?
Sorry?
Randy Bleeth was also in there in that project? In the EP?
Yes. He actually recorded a part, but that's on one of the songs that was never released.
Never released.
It's
so
gonna
why don't you just release it? It sounds really great.
That's a horrible question.
Okay. So we'll skip it. And
but it's for the environment.
No, we'll get there. We'll get there. We did the goal.
It's for the trees.
No, but the
for the trees. For
very
the
good. You listen very well. We the idea was to talk about this and this big problem that we have as a humanity, and people still focus on what about the EP? Okay, it will come, but the most important for us was to talk about this problem, and it's working because people ask us about it, and they go see this organization and they give $5, $100. You know what I mean? Like it's helping.
Take some money out. There is a question we always ask bands, and we will probably get the same answer from you, but we'll still ask. Of the albums of Gojira, you like the best? Is the best?
No, technically, the record label wants you to say "Line Fence Savage," but I don't know how to say it, and you don't have to say it.
And we agree it's a great album.
Yes,
we all
it's
know
great,
it.
everybody.
Okay.
If you listen to it now, you have to buy it.
But is it your favorite album?
L'Enfant Sauvage. You mean?
Ken.
Yes.
Yes.
That language, yes.
C'est quoi ton album préféré?
Merde.
Putain de merde.
Putain de merde, it's a good album, but your Gojira album. A Gojira album.
Putain.
Okay, he's with the puta thing. Okay. You never listen to the...
No, never.
You don't know the band?
Okay.
Gojira, it's a very good band.
I think on each album there is something special. So it's hard to say. But just like that, spontaneous.
Yes.
The Way of All Flesh?
Yeah!
It's a good answer.
That's
very good answer.
Technically, that's our answer also. We spoke
Yeah.
about it last show. This is our favorite Gojira of all times.
All
Really.
times?
And
Until
it's
now.
from beginning to the end. Of course, there's songs that I like even better in other albums, but from beginning to the end, The Way of All Flesh is just fucking perfect.
It's crazy.
Okay, so we're gonna have a little chat about Metallica. I wanted to hear your thoughts about the concept of this band. So it's been talked a lot in this show and in the world at all about this band. And okay, every band has the right to choose to do whatever they want. But what's going on with Metallica? Seriously now. Did you listen to the last two records? Not including, I'm not talking about Death Magnetic. I'm talking about Saint Anger and Lulu. Did you get to hear those things?
Yeah.
Do you have to put this on the table, man?
Well, listen.
We have to talk about that.
This is probably
This is a metal show.
This is probably
If
the
we
most.
want to talk about it, who will?
No, I tell you why. Because there's all this thing of all these bands that are going either commercial, so they go in one side to commercial success, and maybe they try to do things that are more mainstream. Okay, I understand that. An artist has to survive, and even to more than survive. Some of them really want to be that's their living, you know? Okay.
Yeah.
Other artists are very like, no, I will do like this black metal that sounds like a cave, and even if I have money to have a decent studio, I will still record it in a cave because that's what I do. Okay, I understand that. But that thing,
I get your point.
that Lulu thing, it doesn't make any sense for me as a metalhead.
I think it makes sense if you consider that these guys practically invented a genre.
Yeah.
And they were the first to play like that, you know, so fast, so tight, so much charisma, and no bullshit, you know, like no wigs and, you know, stupid pants like most bands had in the 80s.
In the same time, yeah.
And they were just showing up with, you know, jeans and long hair and their instruments, and they were fucking crushing everything that would be on their way, right? And I think everybody could feel that even when they started. All the metalheads were blown away, and it was just like, okay, you're God. You know, it started very, very strong for them. And even now, when we look at the videos of their beginning, it's mind-blowing. The energy and the charisma, and the songs are so interesting, and they put a lot of work into their thing. So now when you listen to Lulu, you have to forgive them, you know what I mean? Because they do exactly what they want to do, and they don't give a fuck. They don't need money. They don't need
But they want to stay God. Like they were.
Well, now what
That's
they do...
not God. That's like...
a band that has success, they fart, everybody's like commenting, you know? Well, Lulu, they did what they wanted to do. They liked this guy, and they wanted to make a record together, and they did it. And I never listened to it because I'm not interested in Lulu, really. But it was their thing, and I choose to respect, and I don't want to start to analyze too much because I have so much respect for these guys that, and also we owe them something like really cool because they brought us on tour 3 times, and they like us, and so now we're not gonna analyze too much something that they did, but honestly, really, we don't care. You know, and I think when they know that the fans are not digging their last albums, when they go on stage, they deliver a great show for 2 hours. They're fucking 50 years old, and they play for 2 hours, amazing songs with fireworks and videos, and they're really on top of everything, really on top of each piece of equipment and light and how the stage needs to look like, and they still care about details that most artists don't care about. So now I think what they do, they go on tour. That's what they do now, and they're like, you like Metallica? We're Metallica. We're here for you, and they fucking deliver a great show, and it's in their blood. Just Christian with the music in his blood. It's for them. It's the same. It's they have no choice. I think we actually talked about it. Why are they still playing? And when they play, mostly their 5 first albums, and the 20 last years of their career, they just don't play any songs of it. But I think they have no choice, honestly, because it's in their blood, and they need their fix. They need to go on tour. They need to play.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to experience. So I don't know about Lulu.
It wasn't about Lulu specifically. My point was more about that. As an artist, what I'm asking you, when you come to some point of success, or even from the beginning, there is some kind of, I don't know if that's the right word, but an obligation to the crowd, because the crowd is building the band
something.
From the beginning. Without the crowd, then the band couldn't, and the core crowd is the people that supported from the beginning, and then something that is so different than which they can do whatever they want, of course, because they've grown up. They stopped doing alcohol. They stopped doing drugs. Same thing happened with Megadeth and Dave Mustaine. Okay, but this thing of that specific turn in their career is something that was totally I felt that it was. I have a Metallica tattoo on my back, and I felt like
I need to get.
That's that is not cool. What's going on here? And I love this band.
I disagree. I disagree when you say that bands have an obligation towards their fans. I think the only obligation they have is to stay honest. And even that is not true. I think
because
it's important for artists to be completely free, and if they think too much about their fans, the band is dying. You know what I mean? That's what they want to hear. Wait, what do they want to hear exactly? Okay, let's do this, and then it's the end of the story. You know?
Cannot do any sacrifice.
Yeah.
Do you think that you guys may come to a point that you're very, very successful and you'll say, let's do the next album
with Christina
Aguilera.
Or Aguilera.
That's what we want right now. She's very nice and she asked, so let's do it.
Yeah,
and we play the banjo.
Because like doing an album with Lou Reed is not that different.
I think it was a bet. I think it was a bet between Lars and James. And he said,
okay, that's it.
That's what my mom's wants.
I think it's a very interesting point that you're talking about now, because every band is confronted to that. Okay, let's do a new album, and we need to pay our bills, and we cannot afford losing our fans, right?
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful thing if you can just record something that's in your heart, or in your guts, or in your ass, whatever, wherever it is, without thinking too much. You know, I think that's the power of good bands, actually. If maybe tomorrow we'll record a reggae album. I don't think it's going to happen, but if one day I want to do this, I hope I will have the guts and the balls to do it, you know? And maybe I will lose a lot of fans and so many Gojira tattoos now. It's going to be horrible. But maybe some new people will join, you know.
I'll tell you what we thought with Metallica and Lou Reed and about what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's great. That's what you want to do. But the name Gojira is representing
Gojira.
something that,
and
if you guys want to do something else, call it Bananarama.
I agree, because there's
because you know what? Because we are Gojira. We cannot change our name, man. And if the 4 people in Gojira agree all together to play reggae with Christina Aguilera or I don't know who else, then we're free to do it.
I would love to hear you guys playing reggae with Christina Aguilera. Having that been said,
maybe the solution is to give a title. You know,
that's what we're talking.
Sometimes we are talking about making maybe an album with quiet atmosphere. You know, because we have a lot of things to express on the musical point of view, and not only double bass, scream. You know, because we are musicians. We cannot play almost everything. We love music. We love electro music. We love all kind of atmosphere. So. Sometimes I was wondering what is maybe the technique.
Yeah, the right way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe give a title like Experience, or I don't know. You know, it's just. But we can still be Gojira with another title. It's because I'm like this. You know, I don't like to shock people. You know, Joe is different. This guy are different. If
I like to shock.
Just to give
to give it some kind of brackets that it's
exactly.
Gojira, but they're doing something else. Yeah. Well, for me as a fan, if something had a different name, which is kind of, it's not like I'm saying like a band should change its name. It's kind of rude, but in the other hand, if you look from the side of the fans, if you think about yourselves as teenagers, as fans of music before, you started quite early, but people that are like all of their lives going to work, listening to Metallica over and over again. Just, you know, and then this thing happens and it's like,
of course, but if you stop yourself from doing something you really want to do, then you betray yourself. And if you betray yourself, you betray the fans. I think that's what I think. You know?
Again, there's a lot to say about it, but I was talking about not doing it. Because last example of this thing, if you take a band like Megadeth, then Megadeth in the 90s, they did some pop albums. Like Risk was pop. And even Cryptings and Euthanasia, they were like pop orientated.
Yes.
But it was still... It wasn't Megadeth as if a person that likes only Rust in Peace will be like, that's not Megadeth. But it was still Megadeth, just doing that. And you know, now when I listen again to like Lulu, it's the only example that I have now, it's not Metallica at all. There's nothing of Metallica in that thing whatsoever, and I that's it. You know, so that's the only thing. That's only about this thing. But of course, I'm really supportive with bands trying to do other things, and sometimes also as a metalhead, I'm closed-minded in the beginning, but I'm trying to, and then you figure out maybe it's actually cool that they're not doing growling like they used to be. Maybe it's cool that they're bringing this guy or that guy from some other kind of music to their music to collaborate. Sometimes really...
you don't strike me as a close-minded person. I think most metalheads actually have the ability to understand a lot of different musics, like jazz, and like not a lot of people can listen to jazz and say, wow, the bass player is awesome, but metalheads can do that. And there's an ability to apprehend different kinds of music for metalheads, and I think most metalheads are very open and intelligent and sensitive with music.
I think that's very right, because metal is very complex, especially these days. And then also if you take like electronic music, it's very complex. So for me, like I can listen to psytrance, which I really like, and metal, which I really like. But then on the other hand, all these like sub-genres and stuff, and it starts to divide it through the years, metalheads. So just like this guy is only thrash metal. He's going with the vest, with the patches, that's it. Black metal, that's shit. Fuck you. Then there's the dude from Norway, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing with this beer? Let's like, I don't know.
Let's kill.
Let's desecrate. Let's kill. And all these things got into so much like subcultures inside metal. It's just crazy, and people are not. I feel sometimes are not open at all to anything except what kind of group of metal they're into.
Yeah, and especially between different genres of metal. Yeah, a fan of black metal will listen to classical music more easily than he will listen to punk or hardcore, for example.
Yeah. So, Jean-Michel, how you doing?
Yeah,
I
good.
said it right?
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, it's all right.
So, we wanted to know about your personal influence and some songs that you want to listen to, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
I have a lot of influences. First, it's Metallica who bring me into metal music, and I discovered different bands like Sepultura and kind of band like that. But one of them was Pantera at one moment, and I think in that band you have all the heavy metal things, the hardcore things, the punk things, and I love it's like a mix of all the good music in heavy music. And when I listened for the first time the first album of Pantera, Cowboys from Hell.
That's actually not the first one, but it's the first one that
I know
the new Pantera. Yeah,
before it
the
was
first one that they want people to know about.
Exactly. yeah.
Or glam ones they
After
did and somehow managed to hide them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which actually, if you listen to glam, that's actually pretty good glam.
Yeah, like Kiss or something.
Yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah, but that album was like, wow. What is that music? What is this new sound? And they play fast, but it's really easy to understand, and it's very groovy. And the song Domination in this album is amazing.
So first, Domination is definitely our favorite Pantera song of all times because of that monstrous riff there. But the thing is that Pantera, I DJ'd some metal parties, so I see crowds' reaction to songs all the time, and Pantera is probably one of the only consensuses in metal. Like, you can play like Megadeth and people will be like, play Metallica, you can play this, that. Like we said before.
You can play Metallica and they can tell, not this album, or...
we
heard it like 1,000
like the
times.
conversation we just had, technically, okay?
Yeah, and Pantera,
but Pantera,
everybody agrees.
nobody will come, what is this shit? No, this is Pantera. They're a revolutionizing force. Like, if it was Black Sabbath in the 70s and then in the 80s, then they did something in all these bands, which I really like, bands you collaborated with, like Lamb of God, which we really like. They came from there. Pantera started this.
So as a metal DJ, when he don't know what to play, he just play Pantera. It's a safe way.
Yeah, it's a safe way. Yeah.
Before you listen to the song, I want to ask you, Jean-Michel, do you have any influence or albums you like from the 2000s? From the last 10 years?
Wow. Very hard question.
Because what you said was about the 80s there.
Yeah, I love a lot of bands like post-hardcore or post-rock bands like Isis, No Roses, Pelican, that kind of bands.
אוקיי.
Yeah.
Jean-Michel knows trillions of bands, and he's buying music. He's one of these rare people buying records, and he needs fucking 15 hard drives to put all the albums he has in MP3, and he has a collection of CDs. And I mean, this guy knows practically all the metal bands on the planet right now. So
Yeah.
so he's not talking too much about all this, but he knows he knows what's up right now.
He's like the
Me-
archive of metal.
Yeah, you ask me, I know one or two bands that play now. I'm still stuck in the old bands. Christian, probably the same. Mario is maybe more aware, but Jean-Michel is a real Bible for, all the...
But if you want to save the trees, isn't it better to buy MP3s and not the CDs? Because there's the papers inside.
That's a good question.
But he wants to say he doesn't care about the trees.
Why
he wants
don't
to
you
save
say,
the ocean.
if
doesn't
you
care about
want
the
to
fucking
save your
trees.
saliva, maybe you can just shut up right now.
Metal, you're with us, and we have Gojira in the studio. And we're gonna do these parts a little bit faster.
What do
'cause
you
we're running
mean?
out of
We have
time and
Gojira in the studio!
You're right. Okay,
Amazing.
so amazing. Joe, a couple of things. We asked you before what songs you would like to listen to, and you said Sepultura Territory. So Territory is, of course, a song that talks about all the situation that happening every day, all the time around here. And also was filmed, the video in the Dead Sea here in Israel. And you have been collaborating with Max Cavalera in the Cavalera Conspiracy. You played bass for the first record only?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, you played also in the record or just in the shows?
I was part of the band at the beginning, and we did this record together. And then they asked me to go on tour. But I told them from the start that Gojira was my priority, and I wanted to really dedicate my whole time and energy into this. So I said, if it's okay, I will just do the album. And they said yes. And that was a great experience. Then I quit, but they knew it. It was
How can you quit after an album like the first Cavalera Conspiracy was so fucking good?
Wow. Well, for me, it's exciting, and it's great, and it's powerful, and it's with two of my idols, But Gojira, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but Gojira, yeah.
That's
You're right.
It's our baby, I cannot.
It was like one of the best thing that came from there. Like it was fresh, it was new. It wasn't anything that was like reinventing anything, but it was just good. It was just really good material.
Yeah, it was good.
Really
It was
really fun album. So that's about the Cavalera Conspiracy and about the Sepultura. So and this song, does it mean anything to you? Why did you choose this song?
I chose Territory, of course, since we arrived here. We're in Israel, and we grew up with Sepultura, not in Israel. But when we come here, of course, we think about, the conflict that is so present here in everyone's minds around the world, because it's a shame to see a land suffering, and we don't judge, or we don't even understand really what's going on here. We can understand, we can read about it, but in our flesh and stuff, we're part of a different country, and we cannot really fully understand. And I'm sure even for you guys, I mean, there's so much history before, and it's got to be hard to. I don't know. I don't want to get lost into what I said.
I'm very surprised of what you just said, because it's the first time that we talk about this with every artist almost.
Yeah.
And you're the first that comprehend the option that he can't understand.
Comprehend.
Because he's not here.
And we appreciate it very much, because when people from bands came here, which are not 100% political bands, they didn't come in their music with an agenda, but they come here and they lecture their own whatever they saw in CNN or in whatever channel, and they think like they know. And we've been living here for years and going to the military and doing whatever. And it doesn't matter if you're left wing or right wing. Just to hear politics in metal, which is not a politic related band, it's like so wrong. It is not okay. Yeah. Like I was so mad. It was my birthday. Napalm Death came here, and they just start speaking politics, and it was just not okay. It was not okay.
It's very delicate to start to make politics when you're a musician or an artist. I think by the way, in this song "Territory," what he's talking about is it's very simple words, and it could have different meanings. And I think he did it on purpose. And I know the guy, and I know how good this guy is, and he's intelligent and sensitive. But yet, I don't think he fully understands what's going on here, like everybody else. And in this song, what I feel is more like a kind of bitterness that there are conflicts around the world, and that was just one example. And there is suffering, and there's so much shit going on. And it's true that the war for territory, as he says, is something that's everywhere. And even in our French history, it's a big thing. And there was like some conflicts between Germany and France for some territory, and Portugal and Spain and the Indians, and like it's a global thing. So right now something is going on here, and we need to be immortal and go through all this history to fully understand it. You cannot really judge. But I like the song it's a very natural choice for me, because we started with Sepultura when we first played really as a band. We're doing mainly Sepultura covers, and that was one of our favorite. So it's just a kick-ass metal song.
Let's go to the best days of Sepultura with Max Cavalera and Territory.
Yeah. Yeah, Sepultura with Territory.
For Territory.
And these drums, they're like all this tribal thing. It's fucking awesome.
Incredible.
And like we always said that the Roots was the first Soulfly album, you know, because it was like, you know, that direction which they continued with, which was awesome. The first Soulfly was kick-ass. So we really like Max. We like gave him you know, invisible prizes in our show of like, you know, how do you say, מתארחים? Like
for his life doings.
Yeah, for you know, he's done so many things, like from Sepultura to nail all this crazy shit. So
he's Max is a very, very powerful entity in this metal community. He's sometimes he's so part of the landscape, and he did so much, and he's so present all the time that sometimes we even forget. But if he would disappear now, we would be like, holy shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And his spirit is very, very good. He's a gentle, honest, and simple spirit, and he's full of tattoos and disgusting hair, and he doesn't care, and he will be a grandfather, a metal grandfather to his grandkids, I'm sure.
Yeah, and all these kids, and they're always playing these shows, and it's so crazy. Little kids playing the drums, and like, it's so crazy.
He has a great spirit, and he creates a great vibe around him. When we worked together, the first thing he did, he just hugged me, and he said, dude, it's gonna be cool. So
in the same day, and there was supposed to be an Anthrax show and a Gojira show, which is crazy, because, okay, the metal scene here is very nice, but, you know, it's Israel. This place is really small. The general population is not so big like other places. So the metal scene is even smaller. And then you take this group and you tell them, there's a huge band coming from United States, a huge band coming from France, and they're both in the same day. That was like devastating for a metalhead in Israel. Like, these things never happen. It's like, it's not like you're in LA and it happens every day, you know? Yeah. And for us it was like, what am I supposed to do? Now, we encountered it, like metalheads like me and Niv. We went many times to festivals like Grasspop and Hellfest. So you always have these things happening, like that you have to choose. What am I doing now, Mastodon or Arch Enemy? It's in the same time, in different tents, you know. But this thing in Israel was just, oh my God, it was so bad. Everybody was so furious about it. So we were so happy that in the end we all had the opportunity to actually see both bands. And Anthrax was fucking awesome. I can tell you
great.
that.
Yeah.
So
well, we heard about this Anthrax show that was going on the same day, not too long ago actually. And at first, you know, to book a tour and to organize all this, it takes a long time, and most of the time you have this one small window to go to this country, and then you need to go back. So technically, it's always very difficult to move a show. And I don't know how it happened exactly, but when we had the news that Anthrax was playing the same day, we had the same reaction, because we know what's going on, and we know that in a country like Israel it wouldn't make sense to make two shows the same day. So instantly we decided with Patrick was organizing the
from
concert.
Stage.
let's move it. You know what I mean? Like
I
it
think
was simple.
it's so awesome that Prague stage
Yeah.
and you managed to move that and everybody's
But
happy
we're
in
very
the end.
lucky to have days off after the show. It normally doesn't happen, so we were very lucky to have like a couple of days left on the schedule to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like really you come to a place, you have the show, you go, you don't see even anything.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
So now you had like a little bit of time here in Israel to a little bit to see. You know, I spoke with you about it in the old city. You don't really get to see stuff, but
Yeah.
a little bit like to
What
touch
did you
stuff.
get to see?
We went to Jerusalem and we saw the
The
you know,
wall?
the old city, and then we went to the beach and we walked around a little bit, but it's a little overwhelming, all these past and all this history, and there's so many things to see and discover when we're on tour. Like I told you the other day, we're on the touring mode. We're just each time we have a time to rest, it's becoming very precious. So we stay at the hotel as long as possible, and sometimes it's just not possible. We just need to go out and see and have a look and feel the country. But we're here to play. So we just want the performance to be as powerful as possible. So for example, tomorrow before the show, we're just gonna stay in our hotel rooms, just to be in good shape. We're not gonna go crazy and visit things.
As a singer, there is something that you do before shows to, be prepared vocally?
Yeah. I warm up for 20 minutes. It's not a long time, but it's enough for me. But we actually all warm up. We stretch. Mario especially.
You don't drink eggs or things like that.
No.
Yeah, but
That's
drummers,
Rocky,
I think
maybe.
drummers should like practice more. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to warm up like 1 hour before the show, and I'm take care of everything. What I'm drinking, what I'm eating. So I have a lot of rituals, but it's the only way for me to play good.
Yeah, because like you have people that are like heavyweight, people playing guitars. You see like I won't say names now, but we have like fat guitar players which are really awesome in some bands in the States, and like a drummer is something that if you're like having stuff, you cannot play the drums. You cannot do that. And I heard, I don't know if it's true, but the whole thing with what happened now with Black Sabbath and with them not being with the original drummer is kind of related.
What are you talking about? The drummer from Def Leppard only got one arm.
That's right. I don't know why I said it right, but that is correct. So we're gonna finish this show, but two things are left. First, we wanted to know if you have anything, any of you, to say to the crowd, about whatever.
We started to play music, we were kids and just wanted to jam, and all of a sudden we arrive in a country that we totally we have no idea what's going on in the country, and we come with respect, and we don't, and people run to us and are like, oh my God, and it does that all the time because we're confronted to our fans. Of course, in the street we can walk. There's no problem. No one will jump on us. But it's really powerful to connect with people just like that, even with the cultural, gap that there is between us and the people. And it's beautiful, because it means that art, music, expression can go a long way. And it's mind-blowing, right? It's beautiful. So
it is.
So we want to say thank you to our fans here in Israel, and we're blessed to be able to be here today.
And we want to
Thank
thank you to each and every one of you to make the effort and come here today to Metal.
Thank you very much.
You've been great, and it was great having you here. We're very excited. You are really, like you said, one of our favorite bands right now, and we know a lot of bands.
Yes, a lot. And we're gonna go to the last song. That's gonna be Mario's pick.
Yes.
And we wanted to know first what we're talking about the song also by Metallica, which seem to be a big topic here today. So probably a band that influenced probably everybody in every room that has any metal. And again, for me, it was just I call it a gateway band, because people that come from different music, if they listen to an album like the Black Album, they can get into metal, even if they don't have the ear ready yet. This is like good grounds to start. Mm-hmm. So this is for us, and I wanted to know like why did you choose Orion, that song that we're gonna listen to, and Metallica? What is it for you?
I had to make a choice of a song, but I had a lot of. I wanted to say Morbid Angel, and after that, maybe Death, and no, Deftones, and in fact, I said Metallica because it was the first bridge in my life to. It make everything change in my life, you know. Before that, I didn't care about music, and when I heard this song for the first time, Joe blast the song in a car. I remember. And I heard the music and I felt emotion, you know, in my whole body. And for the first time in my life, I understand music, you know. So, and after this song, I start playing drums, and I'm here today in Israel, talking to you.
God bless Metallica. God bless Cliff Burton. God bless you. Thank you very much, Gojira. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome.